Hope you're all doing well. Excuse me. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about twin flame process and twin flame energy. This video is Sunday the 7th of May, and it's going to be for the week until the moon. I think I'll be doing one on the moon as well, or around then, the new moon. So this is just for the next few days, I guess. So the last video that I put up was about the what was going on right then with really strong energy coming in, and I've just noticed that over the past few days this energy's been rapid fire energy. So it's like going from really high vibration to really low vibration all of a sudden, and really close together. So it's like they talk about it being the masculine coming out of the ego and clearing the ego, and also how that is when it gets faster, it means it's getting closer. So although it can feel quite strong as it comes through, and quite confusing and quite debilitating, because one minute you're feeling fine and the next minute you're not, and then you're feeling fine and then you're not, and so on, and really rapid like that. It's actually a really good thing, because it's clearing really quickly is what they're saying basically. So clearing all resistance. So everything is a progress towards a physical reunion. When we're looking at this energy today, it's about the physical reunion coming in. So and that is the masculine's process of deleting the ego basically. And in deleting the ego, it doesn't mean deleting the personality. It means deleting fear that resides within the person that's in existence. So it's fear inside the masculine counterpart to the feminine creator. So if you're watching this, you're the feminine, no doubt, because the feminine's always guided to find out about the process, and the masculine goes through it pretty much unconsciously without understanding what's going on, and until they are driven through what is a cleared vibration into operating from true authentic masculinity, which is actually instinct, as we said before. So it's and corresponds to chemistry, as we said before as well. So chemistry, when you feel that chemistry with somebody, that's a natural instinct, which if we were all in the wild, you know, we'd follow up on that instinct, right? And what gets in the way is what is negative in terms of the human construct, which always comes from the ego, which always comes from the programming, and the programming runs throughout humanity in terms of thought programs, and that is all corresponding, when it's fear-based, it's all corresponding to the fear in the collective of humanity, and that fear is from the past, and it's in the present, and it's how we repeat fear repeatedly, repeating fear programs. So breaking down within the masculine of the structures of humanity in terms of fear programs that they run inside themselves, like autopilot thinking programs, auto-thinking programs, and the deletion of that inside them. So it's just like literally wiping off a hard drive inside the masculine is what goes on. And what they tell me is that when it's nearly cleared, it gets faster, because it's like it's almost just like clearing off a computer, you know, when it starts to get towards the end and you've nearly defragged the whole thing, right? And there's so much free space there, which corresponds in the masculine to cleared vibration, or this free space, is that the clearing can become quicker and quicker and quicker. It's like hoovering, hoovering through, and most of the hoovering's done, right? And most of the debris has been cleared, and there's only a few little crumbs left that have got to be hoovered up. So that's what's getting hoovered up in the vibration, basically. And then we've got spirit jumping out. Just follow spirit, and that means what spirit that means. Okay. So when you say follow spirit, it does not mean get all spiritual, right? It means follow whatever is coming in right now, showing up on your path, asking to be dealt with, and that could be many different things that are showing up in your life, different for everybody. And when they say follow spirit, it's like just go towards it. Keep focused on that thing, going towards it, whatever it is that's coming in for you. Deal with it in whatever way that you're being asked to deal with it. So that's from your highest understanding. of, you know, if it's a negative thing that's showing up, then you just deal with it and you get it out of the way and you don't worry about it and you don't frazzle over it, right? So you don't want to get all caught up in it and all negative of it. You just deal with it. Push it out like you're pushing it off the plate, right? And then if it's something positive that's showing up, you really get involved in it. So it's really good energy. And then you really like indulge yourself in it and throw yourself into it and enjoy it and make the most of it. So always respond to what's showing up for you in the way that is the most beneficial for you. Negative things, sort, get rid, deal, off the plate. Positive things, enjoyable things, enjoy, luxuriate, elongate, expand upon, right? So just notice what's coming in with you, for you as well. So you've got two different trajectories going on, basically. Timing, Wheel of Fortune is coming out. The trajectories are the twin flame trajectory, right? So that is the combined, that's like the cadascus, the serpents entwined, your infinite process with the energy of your twin, which is how it winds its way through to fruition, to the physical dimension. So the energy moves through, emerges into the physical dimension as a physical reunion. So you've got that process going on, which is a handing back and forth of the dark and the light between you. So masculine brings the ego, feminine feels the ego, she clears the ego, or he clears the ego, whichever's the feminine, and then it passes back and forth again, just like a game of table tennis or ping pong or something like that. You've got that, right? But you've also got your individual process, so it's on a separate trajectory running not even parallel, completely in crossways, and that is your process of coming into the light, which is as you clear this twin flame process and you come through into the light periodically, your light grows in your individual process, so you're able to maintain more of your vibration for longer, a cleared vibration as it moves along, and then you're really coming into the light as in terms of your individual life, so that expansion right around your individual life, so more things coming to you that are corresponding to that high vibration of love and light, which is really good things coming in and being served. You know, like I say, you're going to get one thing on your plate or another thing on your plate, deal with whatever it is, but as you move through your individual process, it expands into more higher consciousness and you're going to get really good things come in. Also, as you're coming towards reunion, so if you think of this process, right, you're being made ready the whole way through. It's a process of being made ready for reunion. And beyond that, there's a whole other process that starts. But these videos, we're only talking about the reunion because for lots of us, that's what's got to come next. So as you're moving through to every day of your life in a linear progression, what appears to be a straight line, right? You're actually dealing with energy coming from outside of yourself and within yourself and changing it within yourself, clearing your vibration, bringing in better and better things to your life. And as you clear through to like the reunion location, which is in your vibration, which is a clarification of what this is and the authority over your existence here in a physical dimension. And that, if you're a twin flame going through the process, your authority over that is a complete and utter knowingness of what you've been doing all this time and an understanding of that, and a reading inside yourself of that energy, and this is an absolute thorough knowing that you have been clearing all along and you're about to come into a physical reunion, which at some point, as you clear that through, there's also two trajectories. You come into that knowing, and at the same time you detach from your twin flame process, because it means it's gone far enough energetically, right? And your knowingness exists, and we've gone, actually, same for lots of us, we've already gone past that point. And then what happens is it's like recompense, right? It's what they're saying is recompense. It's like you get paid off for everything you've been through, but before you get paid off, there's kind of like this hands-off thing that goes on, and it's where you're asked to just really see what turns up for you in every moment, because every moment is corresponding to your vibration. So you've got to become an authority over your vibration and how you manifest everything else into your life through vibration. So it's about just like noticing what's coming to you and then become a master of what you bring to you. So that's got to be learned first before reunions happen. And it's a bit of a convoluted process because you're still attached to somebody else energetically. And the masculine, the final thing, like the complete overhaul of the ego, which is a complete like relinquishment of the ego, like that fear-based thinking, is corresponding to your ability to manifest everything else into your life. So you're separate in a way, two different kind of energies that you come into at the end, but it's about bringing you together. But it's not. It's like you don't even, you know, your own process becomes such a big thing that you're kind of directed away from this whole twin flame thing, and being guided to understand that. You're just being guided into understanding your own manifestation ability. So that's kind of what it's about right now. We've got wisdom, a wheel of fortune, so that's like wisdom over the process. So always becoming the broader perspective, like we say, always seeing it from a higher, an evolutionary point of view. Evolutionary point of view is understanding energy. So that's where that is. I mean, if you look now, and I don't know if you do look, you might see little things out the corner of your eye, but there's a lot of stuff out there now in science that is still that's talking about the truth around energy, you know, the quantum universe and all that kind of stuff. So it's basically just science catching up with where psychic has been all along, because psychic always knows that there's energy because it reads energy, right? But science catching up with that and becoming the authority of that, which is an evolutionary perspective of humankind, because humans only believe things if they're proved by science. They need scientists to say this is real before they'll all get on board and believe it. So scientists getting on board and saying, you know, quantum reality is the truth. It's like this is part of the evolution of humankind, and that's out there in the collective, but it's also in your unconscious progression towards the truth of what is. You know, there's like, you have at the end of this process, clear your whole mind in regard to that. So, you know, you can start at the beginning of this process knowing nothing about any of it, maybe when you're born, as a child, whatever. And then you come through years, you know, years and years and years of process. And then you suddenly are woken with signs and synchronicities where you have no alternative but to appreciate and understand the energetic the energy flow behind the physical dimension, right? And but you still might have the programming that's running in the ego, which is in operation, that's against that belief. So your mind, your thinking, you've got to view it. These are processes that you're running through your mind, programs that you run through your mind, and to become the broader perspective over that and understand that that is programming that you're running. And these thoughts are not necessarily your own. These thoughts are coming from collective consciousness. And this is also historic consciousness. So all the thoughts that have been passed down from humankind from the minute of conception, or inception even, if you want to call it that, into like the present day, and the fluctuations and the differences of all those different opinions running as programs. And notice that that's what's in your head, that's what the mind does. And clearing perspective on that is coming to the clarification that they're talking about, where you only have a few minor things to clear in your vibration. So it goes from like a complete non-even awareness of source to, at the end of the journey in you, a complete awareness of source, when you're in the higher self most of the time, connected to source, complete energy of let go, complete energy of belief. Faith doesn't even really come into it, because where you have belief, you don't even need faith, right? Trust, yes, you can move beyond that, because where you have belief, we have knowingness, right, which fuels that belief. You have complete clarity and understanding, and there's no need for any kind of program at all around what you believe, having faith, having trust. That's why they're saying right at the beginning, the journey is not about being spiritual. It's about the journey of life, your incarnated life, and what you're guided to see and understand through the person who you are right now, existing as right now, and what's in front of you right now, and drawing into a conclusion from that, there's more to that than meets the eye, the physical eye. And in that you have let go and you have freedom, and that's actually where pain doesn't exist. So that, you know, there's a processing coming into it all, right? And a process of then of releasing everything, coming into new understandings, releasing all the old understandings, and then just being in a settled place of feeling fine. But it is a process, and everybody goes, you know, people are going through this process all the time. People ending the process, people getting on board with the process, being awakened to the process. So everybody's somewhere along the line, right? So you just have to forgive yourself wherever you are, accept wherever you are, love yourself wherever you are, let go with what you can let go of, and what you can't let go of, you will let go of, and know that you'll let go of it, because the whole process makes you let go of everything that's of a, like the human frailties, basically. But you're dealing with the energy of one other, right? So you're always going to have that coming through early days of the process. But anyway, the world, freedom. So the timing that we're in right now, this evolved timing, Wheel of Fortune, which is a process, Hermit wisdom, and the world, which is the end of the process and the freedom of the process, and just really higher understanding and a point of let go and a point of relief as well that's coming for a lot of us. That is the just moving out of that energetic process, right? So Knight of Cups, which is about love coming towards us, Knight of Pentacles, which is healing coming towards us, and the Tower, which is an ending as well. So these two things will bring an ending. So the twin showing up is for both of these things. It's healing and it's love, and it's a huge shift point, and we're moving towards that all the time with what we're clearing. Ace of Cups, which is unconditional love. So there's a lot of that about. That's what the whole process is about. It's about the freedom, that's unconditional love, and the uncording inside yourself from everything that is in opposition to that. So, you know, there's another really interesting thing here. Knight of Pentacles. Let me just get these out. Masculine and feminine coming together. Ending in the mind. Ten of Swords. So the programs that run Wheel of Fortune. Ending in the mind. It's ending all of that work that is done. Healing work. So actually the healing, when we're looking at the healing in a spiritual sense, the true spiritual sense is the healing of what goes on in the mind. And that is in the masculine. So that's in the one that you're connected to, because that is the one that runs the programs through the mind. So whatever you feel, right, you're feeling this week, just know that you're healing the masculine programming that runs through the mind. When they are clearing that, so they're in their head, right, hitting on thoughts, negative thoughts, you're going to feel that come through you, depending where you're at on the journey. So you might even take up that program in your head and start to run that program as they're running it. So start to like self-flagellate and beat yourself up with negative thoughts, basically, because that's what they do when they visit the thoughts in the mind. That's how they beat themselves up. And so that you might have that coming through you, but as that comes through, you're actually healing it. So just know that as well, and try and let go around it, so it's not personal. It might feel personal. I know it does. It feels like a personal attack, because it feels like that in me when it happens. It also feels like I'm being attacked by my guides. Like, why won't you let me go? Why won't you, let me stop this? And I've had enough of this, and all that kind of stuff, right? So, just know that it's something that's got to come through. It's got to come through for the healing. So that's the actual healing, right? Spiritual healing. It's inside of yourself. It's the programmings that run, basically. And in ending that programming, Wheel of Fortune and Ten of Swords is where the reunion lies beyond that. So it's got to come through. Otherwise it can't heal, and it can't manifest into physical dimension as a person that was running that programming and connected to you, right? So just take that understanding and try and let go of anything else that's painful. Energy moving forward. Everything is always moving you forward. So if you just want to take one understanding from this video and let go of everything else, is that you're always moving forward to physical reunion. That's one bright spot, right, on the horizon. If there's only one bright spot, hang on to that bright spot. You're always moving forward to physical reunion, no matter what's going on at the time inside of you and how you feel and what you're faced with inside yourself in terms of your feelings. Always clearing through. Everything is always right. Justice underneath on the work that's done. Right, let's go here. Wheel of Fortune and timing, there'll be messages coming. Page of Swords, that's a message coming. We have small texts, we have emails, this kind of thing, from clarified energy. We have happiness and joy coming on the elimination of the fear spectrum. So that's the ego, the fear. So that's where we're coming from, right? It's where we're moving to. Turn of the wheel. Every turn of the wheel is a closer step to where we're going to be completely out of the pain. Out of the pain so much that we won't even remember being in the pain. So you've got to remember present moment, right? Your present moment is the only time that you ever exist in. So just know that as well, because where you have this backwards and forwards, rapid fire at the moment in terms of masculine to feminine and clearing this fear, what can take you down from, you know, your broader perspective on that and the understanding of that is the amount of pain that has to come through you and how it takes you away from, makes you not like the present moment, basically. And also because it's rapid fire and it's shifting really quickly from high to low, so from feeling good to feeling bad. What happens with the, you see, the masculine as they are in the head and they're beating themselves up with all these negative thoughts is their whole program, their whole the whole work, right, of eliminating that program is a really, really strong energetic activity inside their brain. So they'll hang on to things, right? So they'll hang on after they've finished beating themselves up. They'll hang on to what is like at the, because as the dismantling occurs inside of them, it leaves, you know, it's energy. It's like moving through and it's residue and it leaves behind. It's literally like being physically beaten up. So it's, they feel bruised and battered as they come through that. And in doing that, it's hard to let go of it once it's happened, right? So you've got to remember to just keep letting go and keep letting go. Don't revisit things just because you were doing it yesterday and you were in your head and you were thrashing around in ego, in loads of fear and loads of negativity. Don't think the next day when you feel fine that you have to go back and revisit what you were doing yesterday, as in, oh, yesterday was awful, it was horrible, I felt this and I felt that. Just stay in the present moment of today where you feel better. And even if you can't do much because you did that yesterday, just stay in the present moment of today when you feel better. And just do, you don't have to do anything, just feel better, right? That's what you'll be doing, just feeling better. So treating yourself really gently in terms of the present moment, right? And only doing things, it's like you might be weak afterwards, might feel weak, physically weak. So only doing what you're capable of. If you feel capable of loads, do loads. Don't overload yourself though, basically. Brand new energy, 0 point, a full new journey, cleared energy. So that's what we're always doing, right? Moving towards this openness. Two pentacles, that's two people. You see the balance, it goes in and out of balance. But it's always moving towards that reconciliation and that reunification in the physical dimension. And it's moving through what is a cleared 0 point of actual freedom and communication. So those things that come up inside of you, all the discussion that comes up inside of you around that person, let go, because it's never going to be what that is. It's just going to be an energy of like, it's going to happen. Your reunion happens when you're not thinking about that person, and when you're not, definitely not when you're thinking about what you'll say to them. You've got to let go of all that, because that's not even of consequence. Reunion doesn't happen until you operate from complete energy of freedom. What is. Whatever shows up is what is kind of energy, right? Not what will be, it's a what will be energy. It's not a, okay, well, I'm going to say this and that and this and that and this and that, and let's clear up this and that and this and that and this and that by talking about it, because inevitably that always goes backwards. You go into the past, and if you're in the energy of wanting to do that, then it's not going to be happening in the now. You have to be in the energy of a now and a cleared vibration for that to happen. So it's about let go. You can know. Knowing, like we say, is belief. It's an open energy. It's like, I know what's going to happen, but then it's not elaborating on that in how you think it will happen, or where you think it will happen, or what they will say, or what you will say, or how you will agree or disagree. All right, anything about that, it won't exist. So let go of that. Hermit, that's the wisdom of the connection. You see, because the higher understanding of the connection is that connection itself and what it's been for, and the clearing, the massive clearing that it's been for. So all the things that were, all the like, you said this, you did that, and then I did this and I said that, and I don't like it because of it, and I didn't, and all that is not the energetic connection. It's actually what was fueling the process. So you've got to let go of all that and understand the process needed that for the process to activate, originate, complete. So it's all meant to be, and then you just got to let go of it, right? Because that's ego as well. So you've got to let go of your ego. You've got to let go of the fear-based thinking. You've got to let go of the worries and the stress. You've got to let go of that. I'd like it to show up like this, or I don't want it to show up like that. You just got to let go, and it'll let it show up how it's going to show up when it shows up. See? Because anything that is in opposition to letting it show up however it shows up, and remember, when something shows up, it's only showing up. It's not having a conversation about where it's going to. It's just showing up. It's just basically hello. So in your program mind, with all the programs running that could go this way and that way, and how you think about it, which will change how you feel about it, all the disorder and the chaos in terms of the human frailty of having to have an ego that's predominantly fear-based at the moment until we evolve beyond it, is actually the resistance towards this happening in the physical. So clearing of the ego and that fear-based thinking is the moment of reunion. Okay, and it's not a thinking thing either. It's not an intellectual thing, the process. It's the point of contact is instinct, like they say. So it's not even about prayers or meditation, that kind of thing. You know, that's not the spiritual thing. The spiritual thing is, how were we when we were originally here in terms of not having a fear-based ego? We didn't have religions. We worshipped nature. That's what we worshipped. We worshipped the sun and the rivers and the trees and the birds and the animals, and that's basically instinct, right? It's like, I'm in this world is amazing, I need to connect with this world, from, you know, outside of thought. Then we develop the ego, and then we've developed the fear-based structures that we had to adhere to. So, and that's just, you know, it's all part of evolution or whatever, and now we're moving away from it, back to worshipping the earth in its miraculous wonder. So if you want to tune into nature, nature is really good for getting in tune with your spiritual self, your true spirit, authentic spiritual self, your animal origin, because you're an animal below the upper quadrant, right? You're an animal in your lower chakras. You're still an animal that operates from instinct, chemistry. So masculine and feminine coming together and process. So still in process, but always moving through to what is like a higher understanding and a complete elimination of fear. Let's have a look at this page of ones that came out first. Choices, moving forward. So always take the higher option, right? In terms of what you're presented with. You get, you know, there is a point on this journey as well, I have to say, that you get so used to like things showing up out of fear, and also being put through your paces by your guides in terms of what shows up for you in the physical life. You know, for example, I've just been through loads of stuff which was really hard work, actually about working in the physical world, you know, and doing like number stuff, number crunching with all this stocks and shares they brought in for me, which is not in the place I'd like to be, preferably. But I did it because they put it on my plate, and it was what I had to take care of. And there was no, you know, you'll know in no uncertain terms if something's right in front of you, you've got to take care of it. And then now they brought me all this music to listen to, and it's actually a really enjoyable thing. And finding out about all this music I didn't even know that was out there, and but it feels a bit of a switch, you know. And at first it was like, well, I shouldn't be enjoying myself. I shouldn't be, because I'm supposed to be working. Because I was still caught in the last thing they'd put me into, which was the stocks and shares. And then I just had to take on I was like, oh, okay, so yeah, because it's showing up, that means it is the right thing. So I need to just enjoy this music and thoroughly get into that and elaborate and expand on that. So, you know, always moving forward to what is showing up next, even if you feel the last thing that you've been doing isn't finished, because that's how I felt around this stock stuff, was that it wasn't finished and I needed to do more. But again, that's fear-based thinking, you see. So I was caught in a fear around the thing that they'd made me do then, because there's a fear program running through everything. And then I moved, and then they brought the music, but then I was in fear about not finishing off my last stuff. So, and then I understood again, let go, let go. It's always, if you need to understand something, just understand you have to let go of the fear-based thinking, right, and move forward on whatever is showing up. Knight of Cups and creating love. So we're in the process of creating love through what we do as well. So we've got the dark side of the coin, the eliminating fear, and we've got the positive side of the coin, which is creating more love in our lives, more things to enjoy, more of an enjoyable feeling inside of us. It's not to do with the twin, it's to do with you, because like I say, you've got the two trajectories. So they bring things in as you're moving through. Like for me, getting ready, they're bringing me music to like get more, you know, get more in touch again with like really loving music, which is something I did years ago, but I was cut off from because I could never find anything to listen to, no matter how hard I tried for years. So now they're bringing it back again. So they're getting me ready for like to be in an energy of love around. I think it's more socializing and, you know, chatting about music and enjoying music with someone, because he really likes music as well. So there you go, they bring things to you that you love so it can expand when it's about to pop through to the physical dimension, for you to be in that energy of love in the physical dimension with more of what you love, human-based things. And Tower. And what we've got ending here is the programming in the mind. So just always moving through to more ending of that programming. So, you know, like the wheel turning around. So you just got to push these thoughts away. Thoughts will always circulate around you. Discussion, communication, this kind of thing. It's like keep it at bay. Don't get corded by other people either. Everybody thinks, everybody's got something to say. That's fine. If people want to say things, they can say things. If they want to discuss things, they can discuss things, and maybe there'll be time as well for you to feel like you want to talk and discuss. And there might be that, but when you feel like you don't want to, then don't. You know, you don't have to, you have no duty or obligation to talk and discuss with people if you don't feel like it. Or to try to justify yourself, or to try to explain yourself, or anything like that. You know, if you're in your head and you're trying to come up with reasoning around why you do what you do, you know, and how you do it and all that kind of stuff, then that needs to be a let go in relation to that, because you need to understand you have a right to exist exactly as you are, however you are, whoever you are. And the truth around that, right, is that all the programs that you run inside yourself in operation against you being who you are, that's the fear-based ego in opposition to your individual ego, which is your personal barrier, your personal boundary. Because everybody has a right to be exactly who they are without being questioned about it, right? And that's actually the truth. And I know there is so much discussion in opposition to that, because it will always come in and it will try and cause you into more opposition to that. Even in spirituality, you know, we all got to be the same. We all got to think the same. We all got to act the same. It's this, it's not that. It's, you know, you can have two twin flames, you can't have three. You can have one, but you can't have two. All this, like, you know, this talking. Is it talking? Is it discussion? Or is it reading the energy of it? It's talking and it's discussion mainly. All this stuff that comes up, not just about twin flames, but about everything. It doesn't go beyond thought. It doesn't go into source. It doesn't connect to energy. It doesn't read energy. It just discusses what's in collective consciousness. So, just saying that, right? And we've got a right to freedom, we've got a right to exist. And I know people don't see that, governments don't see that. Like, governments think we should all be the same and we should all do what they say, no matter whether they're saying what is right or wrong. That kind of thing. Anyway, I'm digressing, aren't I? The reason I'm digressing is just I had a census form through to fill out, which I found absolutely completely intrusive in the questions they were asking in terms of who I am. But that's another subject, isn't it? Whatever. All right then, I'm going to leave it there. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.